Hi everyone, I'm Leon Thomas Lewick. Here's your political news roundup for Friday, September 13th. With the possibility of a U.S.-led military strike looming in the background, critical meetings were underway today in Geneva, aimed at finding a peaceful solution to the settlement of the crisis in Syria. Secretary of State John Kerry met for a second day with his Russian counterpart Sergey Lavrov, along with a UN Arab League representative. They're hoping to convene a general Syria peace conference. In the same city, meanwhile, U.S. and Russian chemical weapons experts were trying to work out a method for Syria to relinquish its chemical weapons. Kerry told reporters the meetings will continue, but the future of any general peace negotiations depends on the outcome of the chemical weapons talks. This week's New York Times op-ed letter from Russian President Vladimir Putin drew harsh reactions from Congress. Senator John McCain, a supporter of the Syrian rebels, called the Putin letter an insult to the intelligence of every American. House Speaker John Boehner said flat out he was insulted by the letter, in which Putin warned against a U.S. military strike in Syria and claimed the world sees the U.S. not as a model of democracy but as relying on brute force. Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chairman Bob Menendez said the article turned his stomach. Even with so much attention on the Syrian crisis, President Obama is shaking up his economic team. Today, he named former acting budget director Jeffrey Zients as his chief economic advisor. Zients replaces Gene Sperling in that role. Sperling will stay on the job into fall as the White House faces what promises to be difficult times with Congress on the economic issues of the debt ceiling and the budget deficit. Meanwhile, the White House denied a Japanese news report that former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers is about to be named the next Federal Reserve Chairman. The White House sent out word that no decision has been made on a successor to Ben Bernanke. The stock market has gone much higher since the financial crisis of 5 years ago, but Americans' opinion of Wall Street is still down in the doldrums. A new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll shows 42% of Americans have a negative view of big financial institutions and just 14% have favorable views. The financial system got the lowest approval rating of any institution in that poll. 52% said they had either been greatly or somewhat affected by the crisis and the housing market meltdown. That's your political news roundup for Friday, September 13th. I'm Leon Thomas Lewick. Stay logged on to rttnews.com for the latest political, economic, and stock market news from around the world all day long.